3-2. Albert in the deep left field. Did he get it out? At the track, it's at the wall, and it's gone! He's done it! Walk-off home run for Pujols! 9 for 14 against Perez. Will he even pitch to Albert?
How many times do you ever see where a guy's going, I'm going to pitch around him and somehow, some way they get ahead in the count?
Mistake is made.
Yeah, then he kind of thinks, yeah, it's got strike one. And all of a sudden, I think this is the time I'm going to get it. And he gets you. Change up.
Watch out, here it comes. Pujols smokes it. Game over. You knew it was coming. Way out of here, and the Cardinals win it. That's number 30 for Albert. 3-2 the final in 14.
The Dodgers did pitch to Pujols, and they got burned. Dodgers and Cardinals, game 2 of a 4-game set, and a sold-out crowd here at Busch Stadium. Al Brabowski, Dan McLaughlin with you. A thriller last night in extra innings. Albert Pujols did it a year ago. He did it again last night. You hope that propels this team to another big second half.
Well, he's amazing. Every time you figure somebody else is going to be the star of the game, Albert just takes it over himself. 7th time he's had a walk-off home run in his young career. 2nd time this season. And let's hope that propels this ball club to a good and outstanding second half.
Let's take a look at what the Cardinals did, and this is our 4th key matchup after the All-Star break a year ago. 45-30 for Houston, but 44-30 for St. Louis. And again, Al, it's the kind of game that you build momentum with. Over the weekend, they take 3 straight against Houston, 3 of 4 overall, and a big win last night.
That's right, 3 consecutive extra inning ball games. And during Tony's 10-year run, his team has averaged 42 wins in the second half. If they do that, they should have another Central Division crown.
Real good matchup tonight. Derek Lowe will go for the Dodgers. Chris Carpenter for St. Louis. We'll talk pitching when we come back. Another key to the game last night. Adam Wainwright will break down what he did next. Back in downtown St. Louis, it's the Cardinals and the Dodgers tonight. Derek Lowe and Chris Carpenter. Well, a key to the ball game last night, we always talk about it. Adam Wainwright has the potential for strikeouts. He gets 1st and 3rd, nobody out, gets the next man, then another strikeout, and then the big key matchup in the game, Garciaparra against Adam Wainwright. Let's go pitch by pitch, Al.
Garciaparra, just a clutch hitter late in the ball game. He already has extended his hitting streak to 22 games. Starts him off with a slider. He really had his breaking ball working. Here's the curveball. He just went out there. The one thing that's concerning to me is he didn't throw a fastball in this whole sequence. He got away with it as he kept on going slider, curveball, and he got him to expand the zone. He didn't go after that one in the dirt, but he does go for this one that was out of the strike zone, and a big clutch performance getting out of that tough inning, turned the momentum around.
Not just Wainwright, but the entire bullpen outstanding last night. Game 2 just around the corner. Joe Goldberg with more coming up.
Welcome back to Busch Stadium. I'm Joel Goldberg. Albert Pujols doing it again last night. His 16th game-winning RBI of the year. And as far as walk-off home runs, take a look at the career numbers among active players. Bonds with 10, Tomey 9, Guerrero 8, Chipper Jones and David Ortiz and Mike Piazza have 7, as does Pujols. But all of those guys have played double-digit years in the majors. Albert just in his 6th year. The guy just keeps on being Mr. Clutch. It's Albert and the Cardinals taking on the Dodgers next on FSN.
Full house again tonight here at Busch Stadium. We had over 45,000 last night. About half of that crowd stuck around, and they saw a thriller in 14 innings as the Cardinals would win it. And they're now 10 games above 500 again. Grady Little in his first year with the Dodgers. Let's take a look at his lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Rafael Furcal was 4 for 7 and robbed of a couple of hits. Easily could have had 6 in the game last night. He'll lead it off. Followed by a longtime vet in the major leagues. It's Kenny Lofton. Nomar Garciaparra is 2nd best in average in the National League. He'll bat 3rd. J.D. Drew is the cleanup man. Jeff Kent, the 2nd baseman, coming off another 100 RBI season a year ago. Andre Ethier is a left fielder. Cesar Izturis, the 3rd baseman. Martin, the catcher. And Derek Lowe, he can be tough when he's on. He'll bat 9th and pitch for the Dodgers tonight. The reigning Cy Young Award winner, Chris Carpenter, will go for the Cardinals tonight, coming off a very good start over the weekend against Houston.
Well, he also should be in double digits to win. He's gotten the lowest run support in any Cardinal starter. He also has the National League's best home ERA, and he's amongst the league leaders overall in ERA.
Tony La Russa and the Cardinals lead the division by 4 games. Cincinnati and they're 4 games back. Houston, Milwaukee 6 games back. Chicago a loss today. They're 15.5 out. Pittsburgh is in the cellar at 20. Chris Carpenter leads the majors at home in ERA with 1.70 earned run average. Auto Tire defense, Spezio, Edmonds, and Encarnacion in the outfield. Rolen, Eckstein, Miles, and Pujols on the infield. Yadier Molina, 5 pickoffs, is behind the plate. So Chris Carpenter toes the rubber tonight for the Cardinals. Last 7 times the Cardinals have been in first place at the All-Star break. They have gone on to win the division. Last time they lost the first half lead was back in 1973, and that's good to know. First pitch at 7:12, fouled back by Fricalla. We're underway.
One of the most exciting players in the game. Got off to a very slow start for his new team, but has hit 300 since April.
Hit 190 in the first month. And he bunts that one foul. No balls, 2 strikes.
Electrifying speed, so anytime he's in the batter's box, you have to guard against the bunt. Yet that ball jumps off his bats, and triples are very easy for him to obtain also.
86 degrees, our game time temperature. Pitch that misses in. Encarnacion battling the shadows and the sun, and a wrist injury right now.
I talked to him a little bit. Been bothering him for a couple weeks, but not enough to keep him out. Good start.
First down recorded via the strikeout for Carpenter. That brings in Kenny Lofton. We take a look at the last pitch by Chris Carpenter.
He's a slasher, so a lot of times you'll see him not take a breaking ball. He's up there swinging, and he just started walking right to the dugout. So if Carpenter has that breaking ball, that curveball going this early, look out.
2-0 lifetime against the Dodgers. Bunt an ERA over 5 as Lofton looks at a strike. Mentioned the ERA 1.70 here at 8 starts at Busch Stadium, the best in the National League. And a ground ball handled by Aaron Miles, 2 outs.
It's good to see because one of Carpenter's nemesis on this ball club is Kenny Lofton, so retired him.
Carpenter named an All-Star but did not pitch. He tossed 8+ innings in his last appearance against the Astros. And he used everything. Fastball, curveball, changeup.
Aaron Miles on that right side gets over, squares up to the ball. You see how he kept the glove down low, uses both hands, smothers the ball, and comes up with it with his head down.
Curveball low and into Garciaparra. Enjoyed your segment with Miles talking about turning 2 in the pregame show.
He made some nice plays defensively last night.
Well, he's had, the Cardinals have won 4 straight. He's been a big part of 3 of those 4 wins.
Yeah, his offense and his glove. How about the line drive? How about the ground ball in the hole? Kendo works with these guys all the time, and they're very willing to work with Jose, and if you're willing to do that, you're going to improve your defense immensely.
Garciaparra, 2 Pujols. He'll take it himself, and Nomar retired. Good start for Carpenter. 1, 2, 3. Cardinals coming up in their half of the first. Good start for Carpenter and the Cardinals. No score as we move to the Cardinals half of the first. Take a look at the lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Against Lowe, Scott Rolen, some success, 2 for 5. And one of those hits, a home run. Eckstein, Duncan, and Pujols in the first. Rolen, Edmonds, Encarnacion, then Molina, Miles, and Carpenter. We saw Derek Lowe season ago at the Dodgers, his first year in Los Angeles. His numbers brought to you by Rico. Year before that, we saw him in postseason play with Boston.
Well, he's never defeated the Cardinals during the regular season. And he's an interesting guy, ground ball pitcher. He's won 20 games in the big leagues. He's saved more than 40 games in the big leagues, and he's also thrown a no-hitter.
I believe that's the last no-hitter in the American League. That was against Tampa Bay. He did it with Boston. Last no-hitter overall, Randy Johnson, a perfect game when he was with Arizona, and he did that in Atlanta. And Eckstein shoots it into the seat, so watch out down there.
This young man, and mine got a lady on the arm. But said Derek Lowe lately, last 4 games, struggling with his control.
1-2 on Eckstein. Low on the season, has walked 39 in 120 innings pitched, and he struck out 61. 2-time All-Star. Matter of fact, he made the start, the memorable All-Star game at Miller Park, which ended in a tie. Memorable for some, forgettable for others. Another 1-2 pitch to the Cardinals shortstop. Fouled away. Buddy Theron Morgan, who works in the Cardinals sales office, wants to wish his mother, Sandra Morgan, a happy birthday tonight. Theron is, 38? Amazingly, Sandra's only 39, so happy birthday, Sandra. And there's a base hit for David Eckstein.
Good at bat for David.
Defense behind Lowe. Around the horn brought to you by Auto Tire. Ethier, Lofton, and Drew in the outfield is Turris for Kyle on the left side of the infield. Kent at Garcia Parr on the right side. Martin is behind the plate. Just 2 errors in the last 7 games for the Dodgers collectively. And a .994 fielding percentage for Jeff Kent. He's been just about automatic this year. Here's Duncan, who had a tough night last night, picks up a base hit to start game 2.
Well, how about a contrast to the 2 starters? Carpenter in the first inning throws 9 pitches. David Eckstein saw 7 in his at bat where he gets a single, and now he's on his 8th pitch. Duncan gets a base hit, and now what happens on number 9 with Albert standing in the batter's box?
Grady Little last night elected to pitch to Albert Pujols. Not a good move, especially with the numbers that Perez had against Albert. Eye-popping numbers. They decided to roll the dice.
I'll let you in on a little secret. Starting with Grady down on, and Eddie Murray, the Hall of Famer, and his hitting coach talking to him, and was telling him about Whitey's spring training MVP. He carried a pitcher for a couple years and said he was my MVP. My MVP. I said, why do you send him in the minor leagues every year?
There's a base hit into right. Eckstein is going to be waved in. And the Cardinals lead it 1-0. RBI number 78 for Pujols. 3 consecutive singles to start the game against Derek Lowe.
I said he's been having trouble throwing strikes. Maybe he's determined to throw strikes tonight, and they're very hittable. How about the fact that every hitter has gone to the opposite field? Eckstein went to right. Duncan, a left-handed hitter, went to left. Right-handed hitter, Pujols, goes to right. And the Cardinals have a lead. But Whitey used to carry this guy every year. And, I'd send him back to minor leagues. He said, well, I take him on every road trip, so if it looks like we're going to go into extra innings, we don't. I bring in this pitcher, and he makes sure we don't go to extra innings.
Grady Little Perez now.
And Grady Little said, yeah, that happens. Sometimes you do that. It's not always in spring training. In part defense, Baez was so sick, and I'll credit this statement to Rich Donnelly. He said Baez was so sick last night he was throwing up what he ate in high school.
Out to right, and that's going to be caught by J.D. Drew. Hate to say it, but I kind of like that line.
Well, that tells a story.
Sure does.
That's pretty sick.
There's not a gray area there,
No.
Al. The Pujols now against Odalis Perez is 10 for 15, 5 home runs, and 12 RBIs.
Oh, I mean, and Odalis afterwards, just had some very curious comments to the Los Angeles papers about, I'm tired. The Dodgers are ruining my career. They have no respect for me. I think in the second year of second of 3 years in a $24 million contract.
Correct.
And he had an over 8 ERA when he's in the rotation. I guess there is no respect. But as one of the Dodger coaches said, that they saw today he picked up a $500,000 check, and he'll get another one in 2 weeks.
Pitch outside, 1 ball, 1 strike on Edmonds, who homered last night with 2 outs in the 7th. And that tied the game at 2-2. For Jimmy, it was home run number 11. Runners at first and second with 1 out. The Cardinals lead it 1-0 here in the first.
Only 3 pitchers have accomplished what Derek Lowe has done. Went over 20 games, 1 season, and saved more than 40. Hall of Famer Dennis Eckersley and future Hall of Famer John Smoltz.
1-2 the count on Jim Edmonds. Folks in Boston were disappointed when Derek Lowe left as a free agent, signed with the Dodgers. Under 500 a year ago in his first season in Los Angeles.
Struggling there, and then he makes what he thought was a good pitch to Edmonds and didn't get the call.
Full count.
One thing about Derek Lowe, a lot of times guys like Lowe, sinker ball pitchers, they'll struggle in the first inning. It's the strongest point of the game for them, and as they go along, then they kind of wear down a little bit, and the more they wear down, the better their sinker becomes.
Foul tip and held on to by Russell Martin. First strikeout in the game. And the second out in the inning. When I hear you say that, I sometimes think of Jason Marquis.
Well, Jason sometimes is overly strong, as we're saying, and they don't get the ball down like they do normally. And elevated balls get hit hard, but Jason was outstanding last night. So I'm just signaling the curveball, which he's been incorporating more. And they say Lowe's been using his breaking pitches more.
Things have a way of evening up in the game of baseball, and I'm sure Marquis would say that he would have one, if not a few, of those starts coming his way where he is very, very good, but does not get a win, or maybe even takes a loss.
Well, and he's had several times where maybe with less effectiveness as last night, and he got wins. Duncan had to be pleased with that outing, and boy, it just set the tempo because the bullpen was outstanding. That was one of the best pitch games that you're going to see, and it went for 14 innings. Didn't get the win last night, but boy, he got some brownie points with his teammates and hopefully set a tone for the second half.
66 strikes for Marquis in 100 pitches. The only 2 runners to reach third base against him were runs that scored on Garciaparra's third inning home run. That's how good he was. Strike on the outside corner to Encarnacion, the former Dodger. Back-to-back Ks for Derek Lowe, 2 and the first. Pujols the RBI, and it's 1-0. Who's raising the bar? Brought to you by Singular. Who has been the best Cardinal reliever thus far? Hancock, Izzy, Looper, Wainwright, or other? 42957 to text your vote. And last night, the bullpen was outstanding. 6 innings after 8 strong by Marquis. No more runs, a couple of walks, and they struck out 4. Looper picked up the win. Wainwright in the 10th had first and third, nobody out, got out of the jam. Times the bullpen has taken some heat, but not last night. They were very, very good. JD swings and misses. It was a 1-2-3 first for Carpenter to start the game.
Talking to JD today, and proud papa. He's got a son now.
Looks at his strike on the inside corner. JD and his brother Tim, the first brothers in history to go in the first round of the same draft, and their younger brother Steven, who went to Florida State, played shortstop instead of signing with the Pirates, and then eventually wound up with Arizona. Second strikeout for Carpenter.
JD 0 for his last 10. And you can see the movement. JD over the top. Finishing for the camera. Practice golf swing.
See Jeff Kent stepping out, slowing things up. Carpenter has set down the first 4. The 2000 National League MVP, Jeff Kent. He's had quite a career, a Hall of Fame type career. 5-time All-Star, 100 or more RBIs, 8 different times, and he did it again last season.
340 career home runs, 1,355 RBIs.
Good sinking action on that pitch by Carpenter for strike 2.
It's tied with Lou Brock and Billy Herman for 54th place all time with 486 career doubles.
Comes an 0-2 pitch by Carpenter. Ken attended the University of Cal baseball scholarship. His dad, a policeman in Southern California, calls him his biggest influence in getting to the major leagues. Broke in back in '92. For a guy that's put up great numbers, he's bounced around a little bit. Toronto, the Mets, Cleveland, San Francisco, Houston, and now with the Dodgers, his second season in LA. He's had a muscle strain his left side since July 4th. They thought about putting him on the DL as Pujols will give it a look and comes up just short. New life for Kent.
Galva got over there tippy-toeing, and you see he's got the tarp to deal with. Fans reaching over.
And everybody's saying, don't get hurt.
Saying franchise. Change up.
2-2 is pulled foul. Nice crowd on hand here at Busch Stadium. A pleasant night.
Seats are pretty scarce these days. Yeah, the first pitch tickets, prime seat club. Standing room. We don't even have standing room until Sunday.
And that one got Kent. Breaking ball, and Carpenter let it loose. And the first base runner of the night for the Dodgers.
August 3rd is the first time there's some Loge tickets available.
And now we need to remind fans that early starts are coming up tomorrow and again on Monday. Tomorrow, 12:25, the first pitch. And Monday, 6:05. Monday is 6:05, and tomorrow, 12:25. Andre Ethier. They really like this guy. He was part of the Milton Bradley deal. Came over from the Oakland A's. Hits into a double play. Started by Miles, Eckstein to Pujols. It's 1-0 Cardinals midway through the second. Cardinals and Brewers on August 6th, and the first 10,000 kids ages 12 and under with a paid admission receive a commemorative inaugural season bear courtesy of the Build-A-Bear Workshop here at Busch Stadium. Cardinals half of the second, and they lead it 1-0. Here's Molina, Miles, and Carpenter, 7, 8, and 9 in the order. It's Derek Lowe. Late last season, Lowe got himself straightened out. He changed his position on the rubber from the third base side to the first base side. He Think about ground ball pitchers, you think probably Brandon Webb first and foremost, and second in the National League last year in ground ball to fly ball ratio. This man, Derek Lowe.
Better 3-1. So, retired 4 in a row after the first 3 Cardinal hitters all singled.
Al, explain why a pitcher would want to change one side of the rubber to the other.
A lot of times it's so you can locate your pitches on either side of the plate. Maybe at one time when you're younger, you're a little more pliable. As you get older, you get a little stiffer. And what he used to be doing no longer worked. And so everything was ending up in the middle of the plate. Now by moving over to the first base side, he can get the ball in on left-handers, away to right-handers, and still has the ability to throw the pitch away to lefties and in on the right-handed batters just by going to that side. Maybe his body has changed a little bit, a little thicker.
Dave Duncan did the same thing with Chris Carpenter.
Sure. I mean, it's sounds simple, but sometimes it's a quick fix.
You have a ground ball pitcher, you don't see many home runs. One point in his career, he was the best in the major leagues. Derek Lee, as far as giving up homers last year, he allowed 28, which was a career high, and this season he has allowed 9. Lefties have hit 241 against him, righties 257.
Not a lot of difference, and traditionally left-handers are low ball hitters. Sometimes, you outthink yourself. But if you've got a terrific moving pitch, a really good sinker and a good breaking pitches, sometimes you don't have to worry so much about are they in or out. Just make sure they're down. And hitters will just pound it in the ground.
And Carpenter knew it. He strikes out, third on the night for Lowe. We move to the third. St. Louis on top by a run. Schnucks this date in baseball history. Hank Aaron hits his 500th home run to become the 8th major leaguer to reach the milestone back in 1968. Lo and behold, 500 home run hitters are popping up all the time now. Our Schnucks this date in baseball history. I wonder what Hank Aaron thinks about what's happening now. Probably shaking his head.
Hank is very opinionated. And if you asked him, he would definitely tell you. I have an inkling what he would say.
Wouldn't be pleasant. Cesar Izturis, the third baseman for the Dodgers. They had absolutely no production of third baseman a year ago for the Dodgers. Whoever they put in that spot, it didn't matter. They combined to hit just 10 home runs.
Poor Bill Miller, St. Louisan. I talked to Billy today, but he's through for the year and potentially for his career.
The season before last, they had Adrian Beltre have a career year, hit 48 home runs, and signed with Seattle.
He hadn't done much for them.
Sexton is having an off year for him too this season. They went 71 and 91 a year ago. Izturis out to left center. Edmonds on the move, and Jimmy's got it. What a play!
Ball might have fooled him a little bit, as I think thought he was going to have to run, and coming off the bat of the left-handers keep on slicing away from him, and then he got to the corner and realized that it's not slicing as much as I thought. But who is not better than looking straight back and catching a ball? Pretty much what he did there in Houston, with the added problem of running up a 30-degree hill.
This one is hit left side. And it's going to be a foul ball.
Home plate umpire's call. Third base umpire didn't get that call until it goes past the bag. And you can watch the umpire gets out there. When Scotty fields it, it's in foul territory, and Larry Vanover makes that call.
Rebuilding of sorts for the Dodgers. At 7 GMs since the start of the 1998 season. 7. Ned Coletti being the latest. Brought in Grady Little. He's talked about this being a chance of a lifetime and a second chance of sorts after what happened in Game 7 between the Red Sox and the Yankees in the American League Championship Series. Left Pedro in a little too long, and the rest is history. Comes a 2-1 pitch. Down to left center. Should be caught, and it is by Duncan. And it brings in the pitcher, Derek Lowe. And a ground ball hit too short, taken by Eckstein. Good start here for Carpenter. And the Cardinals have the top of the order coming up. Eckstein, Duncan, and Pujols. A good start with a little help from his friend in center, Jim Edmonds. Gold Glover put it away. Cardinals on top by a run. Derek Lowe finishing up his warm-up tosses. Cardinals lead at 1-0. An RBI base hit by Pujols. His 78th driven in. Pleasant night. Glad to have you along here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Al Raboski, Dan McLaughlin, our Bud Productions crew with you. 3 consecutive singles to start the game against Derek Lowe. After that, 6 up, 6 down. Derek became the first pitcher in October of 2004 in a decade since the playoffs grew to their current size to win all 3 series clinchers in one postseason. Division series finale against Anaheim, that was in relief. And then because of different things that happened with the rotation, he was back in the starting rotation. Beat the Yankees for the pennant and the Cardinals for the World Series championship. Eckstein is 2 for 2.
Another multi-hit game for David.
This Caprati telecast is presented by authority of the St. Louis Cardinals, LLC, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The content and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals, LLC. There's Duncan. Single to the opposite field, his first time up, and hits this one deep out to center. Lofton back at the track, at the wall. Goodbye. 3-0 Cardinals on Duncan's home run, his 4th.
He's proud of his son, but that's why he's in the second spot. Put a little fear in that spot, a little power, and he can give it a ride. The best power prospect in the minor leagues is starting to do it in the big leagues.
Pujols reaches for it and hits it to short. Must be gut-wrenching, exciting. I mean, the range of emotions for Dave Duncan inside that dugout. You know, he worries in one hand about the team and his pitching staff, but also, you know, he's a human being, and his son is out there playing in the major leagues. It just must be at times just gut-wrenching for him.
And other times exhilarating because he gets a chance to watch his son and do what he just did. His 4th home run and contribute at the big league level.
He's got a couple of hits, and he's only seen 2 pitches. He swung at the first pitch in each at bat.
Well, don't know much about him. They see he's big, but they don't know he has that power. Hitting from the 2 spot is a little deceptive too to a big league pitcher. Saying that's guy, well, he's going to sacrifice, he's going to move a guy around. He's not going to hit a home run.
1-2 the count on Scott Rolen. And talking with Dave Duncan, he says his other son, Shelley, is a terrific power prospect as well, but has struggled getting to the big leagues for whatever reason.
He's in the Yankees organization.
That would be a reason.
That's a reason.
So he's on pace for about 40-45 home runs in the minor leagues this year.
Chris signed out of high school. Shelley signed out of college as he went to the University of Arizona.
2-2 pitch. Rolen picks up a base hit to the opposite way.
That has been the theme, hasn't it?
Sure has.
Only Eckstein. Duncan hit his into left center, but Eckstein hit 1 to right, 1 to left. Albert hit a ball to right. Duncan hit a ball to left. He's a left-handed hitter. Everybody's been going up there trying to stay on his pitches by hitting the ball the opposite field.
Edmonds last night with career home run number 342. Tied with Ron Santo and Chipper Jones. 342 home runs.
They just passed Mark McGuire for sole possession of 5th place in the Cardinals all-time home run list. Closing in on Langford.
Ball game tonight. A couple of guys that have Hall of Fame at least on the outside looking in maybe at this point, but credentials are piling up. One of those guys is at the plate, Edmonds. Another one, Jeff Kent at second base.
You look at his numbers and you compare it to other second basemen, he's definitely got to be there.
Edmonds, opposite way, bloops a hit.
Jimmy closed in on 400 home runs. The numbers for Kent as a second baseman are outstanding. Kind of tried to stop his swing, but couldn't, and just made contact, and it just kind of jumped over the infield.
Chance for Encarnacion. Cardinals lead it 3-0. An up and down first half, to say the least, for Encarnacion. Got off to a rough start, picked it up. The tail end of the first half for the Cardinals. Duncan's home run measured at 403 feet. Three-run lead, and you've got Chris Carpenter on the mound. You've got to feel good about game 2 so far.
He'll stay focused, and in his mind, he's in a scoreless game to keep him just out there competing.
One ball, one strike. The runners are off with the pitch. A throw down to third, not in time. Edmonds stays at first, but it's a stolen base for Scott Rolen.
Martin tries to go the short end for the runner, the trailing runner. You see, he steals that off the pitcher. Got a tremendous jump off of Derek Lowe. As Turris can't catch the throw, it short hops him and stays in the vicinity, but Edmonds can't go. The guy at first base really is kind of handicapping him to a degree because he's really got to watch Scott, the lead runner, and figure out what he's going to do.
5th stolen base on the year for Rolen. Encarnacion with a base hit and an RBI. It's 4-0 St. Louis.
That breaks an 0 for 13 streak for Encarnacion. So that wrist has been bothering him a little bit, but it's his left wrist. But he said, you know, it's not bad enough for me not to swing.
And another
Opposite
base
field.
hit, yep, to the opposite field.
Cut out to Talk. 47th RBI, scores Rolen.
Wasn't an easy way to start the second half of the season for either side, where you've got to get into your bullpens in the first game back. Cardinals had to do that last night, maybe a little shorthanded tonight because Randy Flores is unavailable. He's had some arm problems, actually had an MRI. Initially reported in our pregame show.
Everyone was led to believe that he was going to have an MRI, but talking with him today, he saw the doctors but did not have one. But still doesn't mean he's available.
Right.
I think that's the bottom line. His elbow's bothering him again. He had bone chips removed this offseason. So he wasn't available last night.
Molina grounded out to second his first time up. The ground ball pitcher, certainly a double play candidate, is Molina.
That's why in a game like this, it's nice to have Chris Carpenter. If you were to pick one guy that you would expect to take you 7-8 innings, Carpenter would be that choice.
This is hit left side. Only play for his Turris. Across the diamond. Molina retired. Brings in Miles. First base is open with the pitcher on deck, though. Derek Lowe, 7-5 on the year. And he finished up last year as good as anybody. Last 8 starts, he had an ERA under 2. They were very surprised by all the home runs that they witnessed that he gave up. 28 on the year. He's allowed a home run tonight. 10th he's allowed on the season. So this will load him up for Chris Carpenter. Intentional pass to Miles.
Well, it's even more interesting based on last night. Ball behind 3-1 to Albert Pujols, and you don't walk him. You walk the 8th place hitter.
I thought a move that was also curious last night, the fact that they get a leadoff double in extra innings and didn't sacrifice.
Right. Well, you know, they really had one shot in that game to win, and they failed, where the Cardinals had about 15 and failed in all those until Albert put it away.
It seemed like those 15 came in the first 5 innings.
They did. They had 3 times the bases were loaded and did not score.
Carpenter struck out his first time up. Derek Lowe with 3 on the night. Bases loaded for Carpenter. It's the second time he's gone up and in on the Cardinal pitcher tonight.
He's, as I said, last 4 starts, he had really struggled with his control. And now he's found a lot of the plate. Guys have been getting base hits off him, but in this situation, try and make good pitches.
Gets a ground ball for Kyle, bare hands, and makes the play. A do or die with a bare hand, and he comes up with it. Chris Duncan with his 4th home run to left center field. Cardinals then added another one off the bat of Encarnacion with an RBI single. It's 4-0 St. Louis. Ball 1 to the top of the order, and for Kyle, he struck out looking his first time up. And we're in the 4th, and the Cardinals lead it 4-0. For Kyle is one of those guys, and he's a switch hitter, that when he hits from this side of the plate, sometimes you'll see him running out of the box and just trying to slap it to the other way.
That's it. Natural right-handed batter. They'll switch him, make him a left-handed switch hitter to try to utilize that speed, so he can hit for more power right-handed. But here he's just slash and burn, slash and run.
Had a contract on the table from Chicago, nearly $50 million, and he took 39 in 3 years from the Dodgers, and a big reason why Manny Mota.
Another reason why is they also wanted to have a clause added to the contract. He's earlier in his career, and even when he was underage, had some trouble with alcohol, and so they wanted a clause in his contract, another DUI, they could release him, and he didn't go for that. But he also had a pretty good statement. He said, "Hey, I have a lot more to lose than the Cubs do." In Chicago, take cabs everywhere. Can't do that in L.A.
3-2 the count on Furcal.
First pitch of the game, he had a great curveball, but he's kind of pushing it a little bit, getting underneath it, throwing it uphill.
6 years in Atlanta for Furcal, and he taps it foul. 8th in runs scored, despite the fact that hit under 200 that first month of the season.
I think he's scored over 100 runs the last 3 years. One of 8 players to do that in the major leagues. Fastball away.
3-2 pitch, lined over Eckstein and out to left center.
He's going to challenge him maybe.
Edmonds throwing back to first. Heads up play by Jimmy. First base hit of the night for Los Angeles.
From the swing, it's down and away, and there's you see that slap, kind of running out of the batter's box, just slapping at the ball, and he's very speedy. So Edmonds, aware of that, he took a big wide turn, kind of held his ground out there, and that's why Jim said, "Well, wait a minute, he's halfway. I'll try and throw behind him and see if he can throw him out."
Strike at the knees to Kenny Lofton. Rounded out to second his first time up. Former basketball player at the University of Arizona. 6th man on Final Four team, coached by Lute Olson back in 1988. See if we can get a look at Molina peeking down to first. He has 5 pickoffs this season.
You know, a guy like Furcal, who has great speed, 22 steals.
And Lofton hits it high in the air out to deep right field. Encarnacion is back on the track, and he'll make the catch. Best Damn Sports Show period, the greatest nightly sports show on television, coming up later tonight. NBA theme. He's on the program tonight. What gets Kobe angry? Kobe Bryant. How about LeBron James? How he handles pressure. All coming up on the Best Damn Sports Show period. Here's Garcia Parra. Dodgers trying to figure out how much he's got in the tank after wrist, groin, and Achilles injuries the last couple of seasons. They've already turned 1. Can they get 2? Safe at first is Garcia Parra.
What do you think there at first?
Out.
I thought he was out too, but Greg Gibson, the only one that counted. Tries to get it to Eckstein. The throw was a little bit wide. And let's look at this replay. I think all the Cardinals thought he was out. It doesn't matter what they think.
If the throw is on the money to Eckstein, I think they get him.
Yeah. Miles' throw was a little bit up and towards the outfield side, threw him off stride, and that was the difference in out or safe.
There's JD, who struck out his first time up. He's driven in 50 on the year, 9 home runs. Made his major league debut in the same game that Big Mac hit number 62.
Is it fair to say that JD hasn't not had the career that people projected him to have? He's been a productive major league player, but
the expectations were so high, and coming out of college and then not going to the Phillies, and then what he did when he first got called up to the Cardinals. He was just awesome for a while. Pujols finally gets it to Carpenter. Dodgers strand a runner. Cardinals on top midway through the 4th. David Eckstein will lead it off. The Cardinals with 8 hits in the first 3 innings. So we play now in the bottom of the 4th. And David, a couple of runs scored, and he's 2 for 2. Top of the order has done some damage. Eckstein 2 for 2. Duncan 2 for 2 with a home run. And Pujols, who we'll see due up third this inning with an RBI base hit. Lowe is coming off his shortest outing of the year. It was 4 2/3 as Eckstein hits it out to left, and that's a base hit. He's 3 for 3.
I like it. Leader in the National League in multi-hit games.
Chris Duncan last time up out to left center. Just got enough. Fourth home run, RBIs 10 and 11 on the season. Eckstein is off and running, and he is caught stealing.
Martin guns him down.
Well, Martin is a guy that was playing Double-A baseball a year ago and one of their top prospects. Getting more playing time than he bargained for this season. Duncan, broken bat out to left center, and it's a diving grab, and the catch is made. Nicely done by Ethier. The Cardinal fans give him a round of applause.
Ball just hung up for him to get out there, and he catches it, backhanding that ball. He may be your rookie of the year the way he's been playing.
Not uncommon to see a Dodger do that.
One time they had like 6 straight.
Nomo, Hollinsworth, Piazza.
Valenzuela.
Suntrip win one for the kids charity fund. You saw thousands of dollars have been raised this season by the Cardinals. Two-0 pitch to Albert.
Mariano Duncan, the first base coach for the Dodgers, I was talking with him. He played 12 years of the big leagues. This is his first year in the big leagues. He is a Dominican native as well as Albert. And he said, you know, we know Albert's a great player, but he said, I was never so impressed with him, with the things he said to me all game, the way that he was the biggest cheerleader on the field when Wainwright found himself in that jam, and how a superstar talking to a rookie trying to propel him through that, and just the way he roots for the guys on the bench that he could hear. He was just so impressed.
Rounds out again to short. He's 1 for 3 on the night. We head to the 5th. Kent, Ethier, and his tourist coming up. Tonight's telecast from FSN Midwest is available in HD on Charter Communications, channel 792 in the St. Louis area. Buddy Bill Courtney from Helitech and his family here tonight.
Yeah, Bill's going to celebrate his 76th birthday on Sunday.
He heard that too.
Yeah, he also told me he's a year younger than I am. He's right.
We can't thank Helitech for their sponsorship on FSN and what they do here at the ballpark with the Cardinals. Can't thank them enough.
And I can tell you, as a satisfied Helitech customer, they do a darn good job.
Ball one up and in to Jeff Kent. First time he was hit by a pitch and a curveball.
Almost looked like he made it worse by ducking. Instead of getting it maybe around the shoulder, he got it high on the neck.
Lifts this one out to deep left center. Edmonds going back with room, and he'll make the play. Thus far, the Dodgers with one hit tonight. That was for Cowell last inning, right in front of the Bud Light sign.
Yeah, Jimmy Yellen, he's got it. Signify the corners that it's under control. Then he found the shift under his feet from grass to the warning track. Looked a little bit to his right to see where he was on the warning track and makes the catch.
Here's Ethier. Made a nice sliding grab, a diving catch. Back in the bottom of the fourth. We're in the fifth, and the Cardinals lead it 4-0. RBIs tonight, one for Pujols, two for Duncan on a two-run homer back in the third. Encarnacion with an RBI base hit in the third as well. And here comes the 0-2 pitch. A swing and a miss, and a throw down to first. They just get him. Where's Albert there? Trying to figure out which side of the bag to get on. It looked like it was right down the line. It's not an easy catch for the first baseman who was shielded by the runner.
Well, a lot of times what happens is, see, the catcher just, Molina kind of with that. A lot of times the catcher will stand into fair territory or foul territory, and then the first baseman can adjust either way so he doesn't throw the ball and hit the runner going down the line.
It's 3 strikeouts tonight for Carpenter. Here's Cesar Izturis. Wide to center his first time up. Time called by Izturis, maybe to break up the rhythm of Carpenter.
You can try, but I don't think you're going to succeed too well against Carpenter. Very focused.
It's 4 tonight for Chris Carpenter. Gold Glover in center. Just enough room. It's 4-0 St. Louis. Dave Duncan has to be pleased with what he's seen thus far from Carpenter, who struck out 4 and allowed just 1 hit through 5.
Just a little refresher and talking about that curveball that has been sharp at times and other times a little elusive. But usually as this game goes along, and tendency to drop your elbow and cast the curveball, that a lot of times as you wear down a little bit, it's easier to stay on top of it. So you look for that to get better. But he's got 4 great pitches, and if one gives him a little trouble at a certain point in the game, he still has enough pitches to retire hitters. But you don't give up on a pitch.
Rolling out to deep right field. J.D. Drew is back near the wall, and he'll make the catch. And Scott is 1 for 3 on the night. Time now for tonight's Southwest Airlines 1971 throwback sweepstakes memory. Summer nights in 1971 often featured a stop at the famous Parkmore Drive-In or Ted Drew's. Log on to southwest.com/STL to complete the form and enter tonight's keyword, Parkmore Drive-In.
You old enough to have gone to drive-ins?
Yeah.
I mean, to watch movies. John Tudor in attendance.
Al, you be good up here now. I haven't had a Ted Drew's yet this summer, though.
I have not either. And I see Ted in his seats here tonight. Ted and his wife Dottie. What's your favorite concrete?
I don't go with the fruity ones. Just give me straight ice cream and chocolate, something that'll upset my stomach. It's all outstanding. I grew up about 2 blocks from Ted Drew's.
Did you? There's Ted.
He is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Yeah, he really is. Set up completely out of the. Oh. Larry Vanover yelling to the Dodgers, but I mean, right then, if they could only see from our vantage point, they were saying, "Where's that pitch?" And he said it's about a foot outside, which it was, because their catcher was set up in the right-hand side of the batter's box. There's Honeycutt, Eddie Murray, the Hall of Famer, and hitting coach behind him, sitting down. Tell you one thing, Honeycutt and I were talking about facing Eddie Murray was, I don't think anybody ever enjoyed that.
Including the media.
That's probably most evident.
Taken by Garcia Parra.
And yet I've had 2 great conversations the last 2 days with Eddie. You know, I mean, he really is a very, when he was on the field, there was only one way to play. And I have the utmost respect for that attitude. But
switch hitter with power.
Switch hitter.
Hit for average.
Man, he was, look at some of his numbers. He ranks in the top 3. You know, switch hitters, I mean, things that he did. 500 home runs, 3,000 hits. Didn't he have 3,000 too? Yeah. He just came to play baseball.
1-0 pitch, 2-1 Encarnacion, 2-0. Juan with a base hit and an RBI tonight. Hits it out to left, and that'll be caught. Second 1-2-3 inning for Derek Lowe tonight. We head to the 6th. 4-0 St. Louis.
Tomorrow, FSN Midwest brings you the 14th annual Frontier League All-Star Game. The minor league baseball game pits the league's Western Division All-Stars against its Eastern Division All-Stars. See who comes out on top tomorrow at 7 p.m. on FSN Midwest. Josh Kinney played for Danny Cox and the Gateway Grizzlies.
Edmonds a diving play, and he comes up with it.
Boy, he just kept on running and running. You didn't know if he'd get there.
It was off the end of the bat, Al, and out to center. Sometimes you'll see a defensive player that is frozen, and I think that's what initially happened with Edmonds. And then he realized it was a ball that was hit shallow, and he comes up with a diving play. He's made some good defensive plays tonight.
Absolutely.
Look at Eckstein.
Playing some of his best baseball, swinging the bat well, and hitting for some power. But defense is his game. 8-time Gold Glove winner. All 6 seasons here in St. Louis, he's won the gold. Now when Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan say, "Jimmy, we want you to play a little deeper," he's going to say, "Remember that play?
That's right.
If I play deeper, I don't make that play."
I think at this point they just say, go play.
Well, he believes, and rightfully so, that I can take away more hits by playing shallow. And We all seen his ability to go back on baseballs and make sensational catches at the wall.
5th strikeout tonight for Carpenter. What's on tap is brought to you by Bud Light. A look at Jim Edmonds in center. Brad Penny, who started the All-Star game for the National League, will go for the Dodgers. Los Angeles native Jeff Suppan. Our What's on Tap brought to you by Bud Light. Here's for Kyle, who takes a ball. We look on the game notes. Jeff Suppan will get the start tomorrow in the game of the week on Fox, and Anthony Reyes will go on Sunday. And Jeff Weaver will make his debut for the Cardinals against the Braves on Monday.
How about Reyes? Schmaltz, Clemens, and now All-Star 2006 Brad Penny. 3 consecutive number ones from the opposition.
I don't know if you saw it, but he was throwing smoke.
I saw it.
The All-Star game. Man, oh man, was he bringing it.
Like 98, struck out the side in the first inning.
Seemed like every pitch was a fastball.
It was.
Just trying to think. I don't remember him throwing a breaking pitch.
He might have thrown in the second inning. I think he threw 1 or 2. But, he knew he was only going to be out there for 2 innings max.
2-2 for Kyle Tapsett. Carpenter's on it, and he'll tag him out. 1-2-3 inning. Mixed in there, his 5th strikeout. Midway through the 6th, and the Cardinals lead it. It's 4-0 here in St. Louis. Sports Ultimate Nightly Highlight Show is here, introducing the FSN final score. Nightly on FSN at 11:30. Wall-to-wall highlights, unforgettable moments. All the highlights on the FSN final score. As Lowe pitches into the bottom of the 6th, and the Cardinals lead it 4-0. But Carpenter tonight, he has been terrific. Struck out 5.
Carpenter-like.
And has given up just 1 hit.
Cardinals got 9 hits. Molina looking for his first. He has a 4-game hitting streak on the line.
Count even 2-2. 7, 8, and 9 in the order for St. Louis against Derek Lowe. Strikeout. Never seemed to be comfortable once he got in the box. It's 4 strikeouts for Lowe, and here is Aaron Miles.
It's tough being 24.
His turn last night. And Lowe has got it off the mound, 2 away. Coming off a game in which the bullpen was used and had to go deep with 14 innings. Cardinals getting a great start here from Carpenter, just what they needed.
But there's still arms down there if need be, and I think Carpenter going to accept his responsibility, go deep in this game.
First 2 plate appearances, a couple of balls went up and in on Carpenter.
Like that.
Just like that.
That ball just took off, righting in, and almost like a shot put. You see him kind of symbolizing you push that ball, but just terrific movement. That got Chris's attention. Watch this, they set up away, and look at that ball just take off. And hopefully Chris didn't hurt himself. That could have been his ankle. That was awkward the way he spun away from it, or even the upper body.
Is Lowe going to hit again? Carpenter strikes out. 5 on the night for Derek Lowe. Lofton, Garcia-Parr, Drew coming up. 7th inning coming up in St. Louis. Blue skies for the most part tonight. The Cardinals lead it 4-0.
Talking about heat index until next Wednesday at 7 p.m. They issue a heat index when it reaches 105.
Perfect baseball weather, Al. Makes me wish we had our suits on.
When we were on the Helitech studio set, sweating.
A little warm over there. A little warm. And the Dodgers have not scored since the 3rd inning last night. It's 17 scoreless innings.
Oh, there you go.
I'm not jinxing anybody, so don't look into it.
Knock on.
Here we go. Put the blame on me. What a shock that you're going to do something like that, Al.
You tried to do that to me a couple innings ago.
Put the blame on you?
Yeah.
For what?
Said we got a quick game going.
Then
Remember now? Remember now?
Knocked on Tim Garcia's head.
Well, it wasn't wood, but
here's a 2-2 pitch. He got him. Lofton strikes out. Number 6 on the night for Carpenter. Boy, is he dealing.
He's got 6. Lowe's got 5. A lot of times he's just fooled hitters. Look at him pushing away, thinking that ball's going to be inside, and it just drifts back and catches the center of the plate.
Roger Clemens on the mound tonight for Houston. You see the pitch count at 72. What a job. And Florida leads it 2-0 in the 6th as Garcia-Parra shoots one foul. Cincinnati leads in the top of the 8th. Dunn a solo home run. Harangued 7 innings. Gave way to Majeski in the 8th. Newly acquired from Washington. 3-0 Reds. Garcia-Parra grounds it too short. Eckstein. Low throw, but Pujols there. 2 outs. Pittsburgh leading Washington 5-3. And one final in the National League. Mets beat the Cubs 6-3. Traxel the winner. He's 9-4. Maddox, after starting the season 5-0, is now 7-10.
JD 0 for 2 tonight, and he's in a little bit of a slump. Started before the All-Star break. 0 for his last 11, 0 for his last 12.
Pujols will take it. Drew is retired. Time to stretch. 4-0 St. Louis. For a Hyundai Sonata drawing in September. Eckstein is 3 for 3. Duncan 2 for 3 with a homer, and Pujols 1 for 3 with an RBI base hit. Off the end of the bat and foul. 0-2. One of the better games recently for David Eckstein tonight.
3 for 3. 2 runs scored. Activity in the Dodgers bullpen.
Eckstein up the middle. 4-hit night. Looking for tickets? Best way to do it now is at the Prime Seat Club. You can find it at stlcardinals.com. Purchase great seats, which are owned by season ticket holders. Field box, dugout box, Cardinals club seats. Prime Seat Club at stlcardinals.com. Eckstein was caught stealing last time he was aboard.
Since he wins 3-1 against Colorado.
A bluff by Eckstein towards second. 2-0. Even if he steals that base, Duncan made it out. Then you've got first base open with Pujols coming up.
Carrera is warming up in the bullpen.
Up the middle, base hit. Eckstein will stop at second base. And in steps Pujols.
Eckstein and
3-hit
Duncan.
night for Duncan.
They have 7 of the Cardinals' 11 hits.
Home run update for the Albert Pujols Family Foundation, brought to you by Hardee's, home of the Thick Burger. 30 for Big Albert, and $15,000 has been raised. Swing of the bat, and he could really put this game out of reach. Pinch runner for Duncan is going to be Sho Taguchi. You bring him in for defensive purposes anyway and get some speed now.
Absolutely. Duncan showed why he's in that lineup with a home run and 2 singles. Grady Little out to the mound, and might be all for their starter. Carrera's going, wait till the Knicks hit him.
You blame him?
All he has to do is say, I'm not ready. But he said he's ready. He wants the challenge.
So that's it for Lowe. And Carrera will try it in from the bullpen. Pujols coming up with runners at first and second and a 4-0 Cardinal lead. We called from Las Vegas on July 4th. Being inked to a minor league contract on the 5th. May 5th.
Somehow he signed with Pittsburgh last December and either got released or became available. So his second stint with the Dodgers, and he was pretty good. I was kind of wondering why he was let go.
Carrera had 2 innings last night, and that included the 2-run shot by Edmonds in the 7th. Here we are in the 7th of game 2, and now Pujols. He's got a home run against Carrera. We'll dig in. Lowe 6 innings and 11 hits, struck out 5. Pujols 30 home runs, 78 driven in. Average at .317, which is in the top 10. Home runs, he is 2 ahead of Howard and Dunn. Dunn, though, cranked 1 tonight, so he's just 1 back. And Pujols 2 back in the RBI race. Lance Berkman.
He hit that home run last night to send everybody home. Second walk-off home run this season and 7th of his career. He's been out in front in just about every at bat.
No balls, 2 strikes on Albert Pujols. Flash bulbs popping on this Friday night. Kenny Lofton in center, and that's about as shallow as you're going to see a center fielder play. With Pujols up there. Popped up right side. Out of play.
A home run here, he could take over the RBI lead. Dark enough now. People feel those flashes will project hundreds of feet.
1-2 pitch on its way to Pujols. Out in front, he struck him out. Good pitch.
Carrera signed a minor league contract with Pittsburgh December 28th. And he did this a lot for the Dodgers the last couple of years. Won 24 ball games with him. Appeared in 72 games last year for the Dodgers with an ERA under 4. How did he become available? Scott 3 for 3 against Giovanni.
Dodgers team ERA a year ago, the highest since 1958. When you think of Los Angeles, you think about pitching. More times than not.
Who's the first pitcher you think of?
Koufax.
You know how many wins he had?
Bring it.
165.
Yeah.
But he was so dominant for a 6-year period.
Very much a quiet man. A guy that you just don't see.
Yeah.
Been upset with the club. Changes in ownership. Philosophies.
He's actually now starting to get more involved with the organization. But he is, as you say, a very private individual.
Two pitch to Scott Rolen on its way. It's the pitch that got Pujols out.
Breaking ball where off the plate, but they must not pick it up.
Count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Scott Rolen. Different pace here with Carrera opposed to Derek Lowe and Chris Carpenter. Out in front again, and it's popped up, infield fly. Garciaparra make the catch. 45,704 tonight.
Pretty sight with a fan in every seat.
Edmonds 1 for 3. He owns a home run against this righty. Shoots it down the left field line. That one will slice out of play.
I wonder if it's a little different story with that slider to the left-handed batters.
Could go right in his wheelhouse.
Well, so the pitch where he was throwing it with right-handers would be in the middle of the bat or even behind a lefty. So can he locate it up and in on their hands, tying them up, or does he try to backdoor it?
One ball, 1 strike on Edmonds. Picked up his base hit back in the 3rd, but it's been his defense tonight that's made a difference behind Carpenter. Hits it out of play. How many times have we seen Edmonds with his back to the infield and making great catches? This was early on in the game. For the Bud Light sign, then a little later, for a late break, a diving catch by the Gold Glover in center. He's so fun to watch, isn't he?
Yes, he is. And almost got to think whatever happens this second half will determine his future with the Cardinals.
Not the greatest of speed, but yet the jumps, second to none. One way or another, I'd like to see him retire as a Cardinal. And whether they tear up that existing option on the contract and give him a couple more years, reduced rate, whatever the deal, but he has been a huge part of this run.
And I think, as I say, yet to be determined, but where are you going to find a center fielder that can play the defense that he does, supply power and pop, and you'd like to see that average go up a bit. Jim would be the first one to tell you, get it back up around his career numbers. They don't fall off of trees.
1-2 pitch. Edmonds. Opposite way. It's well hit. In front of the track, and the catch is made by Ethier. Leadoff hit by Eckstein. He's left stranded. 2 in the inning left stranded. 7 in the game. Who's raising the bar? Brought to you by Singular, who has been the best Cardinal reliever thus far. Hancock, Izzy, Looper, Wainwright, other. 42957. Adam Wainwright is your vote. Last night, first and third, nobody out, and got out of the jam in the 10th. Bullpen did the job, and the Cardinals would win it in 14. Tonight, it's all Carpenter. First Carpenter, 1 hit allowed as he pitches into the 8th. Kent, Ethier, and Istoris. Kent has been hit by a pitch, and he's fly to center. Starts him off with a strike. Yankees beat the White Sox 6-5. Farnsworth the winner. Contreras takes a loss. He's now 9-1. That's his first loss in a long time. As you see, So Taguchi takes over and left. Cincinnati holds on. Harang the winner. He's now a 10-game winner. 3-1 the final over Colorado. Guardado the save is 7th. Texas beat Baltimore 2-1. Millwood the winner. He's 9-5. Chris Benson took the loss 9-8. As Kent lifts this one out to Encarnacion. And the other final to tell you about the Mets over the Cubs. 6-3. Pitch by pitch brought to you by your local Chevrolet dealers.
Jeff Kent, they start him off with a little slider, get ahead with a strike, then a curveball, it's down. So 1-1, and then a fastball down and in, and just a little harmless fly ball to right. That is 13 in a row that Carpenter is retired.
Only hit for Cal back in the 4th. Ethier is grounded into a double play, 4-6-3, and struck out in the 5th. Carpenter has struck out 6 tonight. Everything's working for Mr. Carpenter. We've seen a one-hitter already this year. That was Anthony Reyes at Chicago against the White Sox.
I saw Carpenter throw a one-hitter last year against Toronto.
Broke his bat. Not sure if it got Carpenter, but he avoided it, it looked like.
No, but he started going to the right side, and he recognized that that barrel, the big part of the bat, was coming his way. And 6-5, and he gets down, and then Miles makes a nice play. Surrounds that ball, picks it up, but, you know, there was a lot of bat coming at him right there, so you don't mind him ducking. Seeing it in slow motion. Let's take a look at it in real speed. You don't have much time to react, do you?
No. Back to live action up the middle, and the base hit for his Turris. That one almost got Carpenter too.
Set up away and right back through the middle.
Like
it changed direction. It did hit him.
Got his leg.
His tree trunk. He's tough. He there and he's gonna bother to even look at.
Right-hander getting loose for the Dodgers in the bullpen. No activity for the Cardinals.
It's Baez, who was sick last night, and Perez was their last reliever. Ricky Leday, who was just added to the roster, so they made a transaction, took him off the disabled list, is in the on-deck circle.
One ball, one strike.
Sent out Matt Kemp, who we saw last night.
Out to center. Edmonds coming on. He's going to make the play. 4-0 St. Louis midway through the 8th. Downtown St. Louis, Union Station. It's been all Cardinals tonight as they lead it 4-0. Cardinals half of the 8th, and Chris Carpenter has been terrific tonight. 2 hits allowed. No activity in the Cardinal bullpen. They're going to let him try to finish this one out. Danny Baez, it's an all-star in 05, will take over for the Dodgers. He had 41 saves for Tampa Bay, a team that lost 90 games. He was so good he didn't allow an earned run in the first 13 appearances. Out to center, and this one's gone. Some insurance. Encarnacion with the home run, and it's 5-0. His 12th on the year.
Now that wrist is getting better. He told me it was better. His second hit of the night, 2 for 4. And that is a big, big insurance run. Baez throws this pitch, and he was ready for it. He was the young man that was so sick last night that, you like that line, I'll give it again. Rich Donnelly told me that Baez was so sick that he threw up what he ate in high school.
Baez was one of the guys that they signed, or at least acquired, insurance for Gagne if he would be hurt. Gagne's lost for the year. Their bullpen was setting up to be a strength.
Defected from Cuba, went to Costa Rica prior to the last game of the Pan Am Games on August 1st of 1999. While in Winnipeg, Canada. He was a member of the gold medal winning Cuban national team. And he signed with the Indians in '99. Studied physics while in Cuba. And he's an animal lover. You get along with Tony. He's got a boxer named Lennox. You know who he was named after?
Well, let's see. He's a boxer.
Boxer. Lennox.
Lennox Lewis, Al.
Gosh, you're smart. Get anything by it.
Just outside. Molina's on. Tuesday, July 18th, the Cardinals play the Braves. It's DHL Lanyard Night here at the stadium. First 25,000 fans that enter the ballpark receive a lanyard with a ticket holder courtesy of DHL and Major League Baseball. Here's Miles. Popped up left side in foul territory is Turris.
One-handed and almost dropped it. Buys his first out. Well, Roger Clemens isn't getting much luck, is he? He loses again tonight. Doesn't make him 0-5, 3-1. Watch this. Try to catch it, then he did try to reach in and make the exchange. And a nice hand for Chris Carpenter. Oh, this is Hundo night, too.
Gets the bunt down. The sacrifice will be good. And he's going to hear it again from the home fans. Well, how could you not love playing in St. Louis? Sold out every night. Carpenter has given the home folks a good performance.
Curveballs, cutters, fastballs. You know, he's just going out there and dealing. He's allowed 2 hits on the night. He did hit a batter. They have only stranded 2, and Cardinals have given him the offensive support.
Stein is 4 for 4.
Yeah, luxury for Tony that he can rest his bullpen. They might get up with Carpenter. Izzy might get up, or 1 or 2 others, but non-save situation, so it's easy to let him try to complete the game.
Renteria, the last 5-hit game back in 04.
Wouldn't that be interesting? The man that he replaces, he pushes him aside with a 5-hit game. I think David's getting a little satisfaction. This game being televised back to Southern California.
No doubt. Very popular player.
Just in case they forgot him.
Part of their World Championship team. Eckstein hit left side is Turris. Carpenter will head out for the ninth and try to finish it off. 5-0 Cardinals. Game recap is brought to you by Jack in the Box. The Cardinals lead at 5-0. Pujols with another RBI. That was back in the first to get it going. Chris Duncan, a big night. Edmonds defensively. Our game recap brought to you by Jack in the Box. 12 hits tonight for the Cardinals. Chris Duncan.
3 of them.
Yeah, 3 of them with a 2-run home run sandwiched in between a couple of singles. A lot of movement still for Carpenter. Look at that pitch. 0-2.
Cardinals 2 home runs tonight. Homered in 11 straight games and have the most home runs in the National League in the month of July with 20. Big story is Carpenter and his efficiency. Ricky Leday just taken off the disabled list and added to the roster before tonight's game.
Encarnacion with his home run measured at 426 feet out in center field. His home run made it 5-0. Carpenter working on a 2-hit shutout.
He's only thrown 90 pitches to this point. He wants the cutter, fastball in.
And a ground ball. 1 out. That's how we start the ninth. August 6th, the Cardinals take on the Brewers, and it's our Build-A-Bear Workshop Day. Come on down.
Carpenter's retired 16 of the last 17 batters.
Here's for Kyle. Kyle had the first hit and the only hit for a long time. That was back in the 4th.
92 pitches, 63 strikes.
6 strikeouts on the night for Carpenter. Beautiful. You almost don't have a chance when he's throwing like this.
Just in command all night. A couple times the curveball got away from him, but it's been a big pitch for him, and he is a big pitch game type pitcher.
Check swing on a breaking ball, and it's 2-2. Highest paid shortstop now in the National League, Rafael Furcal. Gets the fastball and fouls it away. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Little delay
late.
call there, and I'm going, where was that pitch?
Looked pretty good.
Looked like it was right down the middle, just freezing. Look at that terrific movement once again. See it, ball coming inside, then drifting right back to the corner, and a little more.
Last complete game for Carpenter at Houston.
When's the last time somebody said the Cardinals had pitching problems? I always said it was a winning streak would cure everything.
Last complete game for the Cardinals. Another beautiful pitch was Reyes against the White Sox. He went 8 innings. 2 hits allowed tonight for Carpenter. He's done that once this season, but only in 8 innings of work.
And if Lofton can't extend it, Garcia-Parra loses his hitting streak to 22 games.
Still then, Renteria would have the longest in the league. Little high with that breaking ball. 2 balls and a strike.
And he thought about pulling the trigger, but falling behind. This is where it slowed down a little bit. 100 pitches. That's what Marquis threw last night in 8 innings of good pitching.
This one is popped up left side. Chris Carpenter has earned it. Taguchi's got it. Win number 8, and the Cardinals' 50th victory on the year. 11 games above the 500 mark for St. Louis. Play of the game is brought to you by Budweiser. We go back to the 3rd. There's single by Eckstein. Duncan would bring him in. Chris Duncan with his 4th home run and a 3-hit night. Play of the game brought to you by Budweiser. Cardinals win it 5-0. Plenty to come. Post-game show. A star of the game, all the highlights and analysis from the guys over at the Helitech Sports Desk. 5-0, our final tonight. And we've got more coming up in just a moment. 5-12-0 for St. Louis, 0-2-0 for the Dodgers. As Chris Carpenter was magnificent tonight. A 2-hit shutout. 5-0 the final. We've got our final thoughts coming up on FSN. Last night, 4 hours and 21 minutes. Tonight, a little different story out. 2 hours and 8 minutes. And a little bit of everything in this ball game. Offense, defense, and great pitching.
Well, it really was. When you talk about it, had some home runs in here. The Cardinals bang out 12 hits. Carpenter's just brilliant. A 2-hitter against a team that was batting .283, the top hitting team in the National League. So Carpenter's a story, but he had a lot of support. This was a complete game package. And there was some nice defense on top of it.
Last complete game shutout for Carpenter back in 05, 9 innings. He struck out 9 against Houston. And tonight is the 10th complete game shutout of his career. 5-0 the final. Cardinals pick up 12 hits, as Al told you. Los Angeles only 2. And he had everything working. That was the bottom line.
Yeah, it was a good game. Cincinnati wins again, but they see the Cardinals win, so it's still a 4-game lead. Then you see Chicago loses, Houston loses, and Milwaukee still playing.
Cardinal Baseball produced by Bud Productions and an exclusive presentation of FSN Midwest. Next Cardinals broadcast will be again tomorrow, the Fox Saturday Game of the Week. Stay tuned. The Midwest Sports Report is coming up. and plenty more to come on the post-game show.
And welcome back to Busch Stadium. This is the Cardinals post-game edition of the Busch Light Midwest Sports Report. Alongside Pat Paris, I'm Jim Hayes.
Yeah, we're going to hear from Tony La Russa. His post-game comments go inside the Cardinals clubhouse. Plus, Jim and I will take your phone calls. But Joel Goldberg is standing by with the hero of the night, Chris Carpenter, with At the Scene, presented by Ace Mortgage. Joel, take it away.
All right, thank you very much, Chris Carpenter. Brilliant outing tonight. You've had a lot of them over your career. The one-hitter last year against Toronto, 13 strikes against Pittsburgh. This ranked right up there?
Just good all night. I had good stuff. Located the ball well, kept them off balance. Jimmy made some nice plays. Some guys in the defense made some nice plays to help me out, and it was a nice night all around. We scored some runs early and gave me an opportunity to go there and be aggressive, and it was a good night all around.
And to not go deep into the count, you were ahead so often, that obviously has to help.
Absolutely, especially on a night like tonight with it being so hot and humid. You're attacking the strike zone, getting ahead of guys, and putting them behind early. And me being the aggressor, it puts a lot of pressure on them, especially when I'm locating my stuff like I was.
And real quick to get the ovation at the plate and then coming off here.
Outstanding. I mean, these fans are outstanding. Best fans in baseball. They've been like that since I've been here. And I enjoy every moment I get to pitch here at Busch, and enjoy everything these fans do for us. They do something special for us every night.
Great job tonight.
Thank you.
Chris Carpenter, one of his best outings of the year, guys.
Okay, Joel, thank you. And he gets the offense, he gets the defense from Edmonds. As he mentioned, top of the order does a lot of damage tonight. You always think about Albert Pujols. He picked up an RBI, first RBI of the game. And, of course, the Cardinals pick up 5 runs, but it was David Eckstein with a 4-hit night and Chris Duncan in the second spot. That's kind of been a sore spot in this lineup at times throughout the season, but Chris Duncan providing some pop tonight.
Well, that's it. You get 7 hits from the first 2 guys in the order, but David Eckstein was outstanding. Right here, the first time he hits the ball the opposite field. Now this time he pulls it. On the night, he has his 3rd hit in the 4th inning, and they got that early lead, but he's not through in the 7th. He gets one up the middle. So a 4-hit night for David Eckstein. Just a good tempo, as Carpenter said. The offense scored in the first inning. Then they get 3 more in the 3rd, and everything kind of fell into place there. Good all-around game.
And, of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Chris Carpenter, and that is our man tonight. This is a Friday night. This is the Hungo Award, so we got to turn things over to Mr. Carpenter, and he was just outstanding.
Well, he was outstanding. Brought to you by Kerberg Roofing, the Hungo Award. And, Carpenter, as he said, he had good location, kept him off balance. He throws his 10th shutout. He came into this action here tonight with the best home ERA in the major leagues, and then he throws his shutout on top of it. So, he showed you why he was the Cy Young Award winner last year. He didn't get a lot of run support early in the first half, but if he gets the support that he got here tonight and pitches like this, he's going to be high on the win total once again.
Well, as you well know, pitchers can have great stuff, but still, the other part of the equation, you got to be able to locate it. And he was able to locate even deep into the game, into the 9th.
Well, I just think he is a fierce competitor. When you see his concentration, when you see his preparation, he goes out there and he knows what he has to do. He doesn't make any excuses. He tries to deflect credit, give it to his teammates, but he's an awesome competitor and a very, very good pitcher.
So the Cardinals have taken the first 2 games of this 4-game set. For Joel and Jim and Al, I'm Dan. Let's send it back over to Pat in the studio.
All right, guys, thanks very much. More reaction coming up. Cardinals left-handed reliever Randy Flores unavailable for tonight's game with a soreness in his elbow. It's not related to that off-season elbow surgery he had during the winter. Flores, who's appeared in 38 games this year for the Redbirds, met with Dr. George Paletta earlier today.
He came in yesterday and said his elbow was barking. So he got checked by the doctor last night. He had some tests today. We're anxious to see, what that diagnosis is. And we take every complaint that a pitcher has very seriously. And problem, I guess he felt it for a little while, but pitchers always have to distinguish between hurt and sore. And I think he finally decided that he better have it checked.
Despite a .263 batting average and going hitless tonight, Aaron Miles has had a knack for the clutch hit in recent weeks. Miles had a game-tying double against the Indians on June 28th and a pair of big hits against Brad Lidge last weekend in Houston. And with competition at his position, the second baseman is happy to be taking the field nearly every day.
I got to be happy if Mr. La Russa keeps penciling my name in the lineup and we keep winning ball games and we're in first place. I know you go through a little slump here and there, but, as far as I'm concerned, I've been coming through when I need to. And, if I'm getting one hit a game, if it's a big hit, then I'll take it. I don't know if it's rises to the occasion a little bit or the pitchers themselves don't want to get to the good pinch hitter that might be behind me or get to Eckstein, who's now maybe, a couple guys behind me. But, it's just a matter of getting a good pitch to hit and putting your swing on it and not trying to do too much.